Hello there, Year 3. Welcome to Science Lesson 2. Today is Wednesday the 13th of January 2021 and it's time for you to crack on your morning with science. Yep, Wednesday mornings is all about the science. This actually takes up lesson 1 and 2. So when you go to the team section for the lessons today, lesson 1 and 2, you only need to click on lesson 1 and that's the science. Lesson 2 is still science and there won't be anything in there because this will be everything you need to do over the course of the morning. So if you want to take a brain break at any time during this video, you just need to press pause, go nuts, come back, carry on. All right, so this is your lesson for the lesson 1 and 2, all in this one video. And today we're going to carry on learning about different parts of a plant. Last week you had a bit of an introduction lesson through the Oakwood Academy website, and now it's going to be lessons from me, Mr. Davey, taking you through the process of what plants are all about. And it's such a shame we're not in school, obviously, because we are going to be doing, or I'm going to be doing on your behalf, some planting of seeds to see how plants grow. And we're going to observe that. We're going to test the different conditions they grow under and the ones that work best and so on. But anyway, you can still do that yourself. And you can experiment yourself, because science is all about experimenting. So if you want to do any experimenting with any seeds you may have in the home, now if you don't have any seeds, obviously please don't be worrying about going out and buying anything. But I tell you the thing that's so much fun to watch growing, a potato. I know. Mr. Davey, are you going a bit spuddy? No. If you keep a potato long enough in the cupboard, well, why don't you just try that for the next 6 weeks or 5 weeks that you're left in lockdown, or however long we're in lockdown. Get one single potato, leave it in a dark cupboard, and watch what happens. But if you've got any other seeds, plant them in a normal pot and observe how they grow as well. Anyway, moving on. Learning powers. I don't think we have to worry about learning powers too much when we're home learning, but lots of listening to my video and lots of reasoning on what I tell you about today. And of course, perseverance. Keep on going, team. We can get through this. Our WILFs for today. You're going to be able to, on bronze, label the main parts of a plant. Silver, you're going to label and explain the main sections of a plant. So you're going to need to give a bit more detail. Gold, you will complete a paragraph of your own writing, explaining facts about how a plant works. And if you want to go for challenge, you need to write a list of factors that a plant needs to grow successfully. Okay, now you won't necessarily know all of that yet, so that's why it's a bit more of a challenge. If you think you know what's going to help a plant grow successfully, you can write a bit about that as well in your science book. And all your work today can be completed in your science book. So, very quickly, let's do a bit of a memory quiz, looking back at some of the other things we've learned. You can always press pause here if you need to, in a moment. So, about 10 weeks ago, who can remember what type of food is pasta and potato? Okay, what sort of food group do pasta and potato belong to? No shouting out, I heard that. Not allowed to say. 7 weeks ago, roughly, what is the job of the skull in our skeleton? What's the job of a skull? And then 4 weeks ago, we were doing all about light. How does light travel? Okay, believe it or not, that is actually a lot more, that's a simpler answer than you're probably thinking. It's about, anyway, how does light travel? Can't tell you the answers. Write them down, see what you come up with, let me know. So, as you know, we're going to be learning all about plants, okay? And the reason we want to get this really good in our learning is because in Year 5, which I know seems like a long time away, but hopefully we'll be out of lockdown before you have to go to Year 5. You will need this knowledge to help you when you learn about the different parts of a flower and how they reproduce, okay? So you're laying the foundations in your learning for what you do when you come to year 5 and understanding in more detail the different, more focused parts of a plant. At the moment, you only need to know the basic parts, and that's what you're going to learn today. Now, the first job, and I still believe we can do this even though we're in lockdown. One of the ways we like to see how you're doing with your learning is an elicitation task. So I've got this sheet, which you would have had if you were going into school. And what I want you to do in your science book is turn it sideways, and then you create a landscape page. Then in the margin, that's now landscape, you can write elicitation task 1. So you can copy this here bit. In fact, look, watch. I'm even going to draw with a. Let's go with a. Let's do this. Look. Do that as your title, but don't draw a red circle round it. That's just for me. Anyway, that was just for me to show you. Write those words out as you see them spread across your page. Stem, roots, nutrients, leaves, light, air, evaporation, water, soil. Write those out, spread across your page, and then draw a line from one to another like this and say, I think these two belong together because, and then just write a very simple sentence why you've put those two together. Okay? Or you might say, I think these two belong together. Anyway, you don't have to do exactly what I've done there. But you join the two, a couple of words together. If you think, actually, I'm going to join those together and say I think they belong as a 3, then you can. But you need to explain the reason for why you've joined them. All right, so you want to press pause here. Have a go doing this elicitation task. I would give yourself 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes, press pause. Do the best you can, and as soon as you finish doing it, come back, press play, and you can carry on the lesson. Okie dokie. Press pause. And move it on. Now we're going to watch a video, and we are going to learn about the different parts of a plant. So have a watch of this. Get rid of that. That's not needed. And press play here. Off we go.
Plants are very special because they have the almost unique ability to make their own food. Plants start life as a seed that develops roots. The roots grow hairs that absorb nutrients and water from the soil. Roots also anchor the plant to the ground and keep it securely in place. Shoots grow upwards from the seed and immediately head in search of light. They grow into strong stems, which support the plant and hold it upright. Stems need to be strong, as they have to bear the weight of the leaves, the flowers, and the fruit. Stems also transport water and nutrients up and down the plant. Leaves make food for the plant through a process called photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, leaves absorb sunlight and use its energy to help make carbohydrates. Which give the plant energy to grow. Flowers are needed for reproduction, to make new plants. They contain both the male and female parts of the plants that reproduce to make seeds. The seeds fall into the soil, ready to grow into new plants.
Awesome. So that's that one. Let's get back to our flip chart. So here we go. So that has given you everything that you need to know all about a plant and its different parts. And that's going to be key because your next activity will be to make a very clever little diagram of what the main parts of a plant are. But very quickly, tell me, what's this bit here? Shout it out. It's the flower. What about these squiggly bits down here? I thought that video showed the speeded up process of roots growing. Absolutely brilliant. It's incredible how they grow. I've just given you the answer. What's that bit? It's the roots. The middle long part is called the stem. Well done. And finally, these green bits here are the leaves. So really simple, nice easy start. Those are the 4 main sections of a plant that you need to understand. So, question is, how are you going to show it? Very easy. Now, on the lesson 1 section of our Teams page, you can download a PDF that has these pieces of paper, okay, and you can print them off. Now, I know some of you might be going, but I can't print anything, we don't have a printer. Don't worry, because I've got a solution for you in a moment, and you're going to make your own, and I'm going to take you through how to do that. And it is actually a lot simpler than you would think. But basically, you have 2 pages that you need to complete, and there are 3 levels. This one, you simply fill in where the missing words are, or if you choose to do gold, you can write a paragraph of your own. Okay, so you can use some of these ideas here to help you create your own paragraph about each section of the plant. And what you'll find is, what you'll do if you print these off, the 2 pages, you literally glue on this section here, and then you stick this sheet on top of this sheet. So it's like 2 pages, okay? But what you then also have to make sure you do, before you stick the flower part on top of the writing part, you cut with scissors along this line, but you must stop here, okay? You don't go past this line. Don't go past there or you'll cut the whole thing off. You need to keep it as a little flap that you lift up to reveal what's been written underneath, okay? So you literally stick the flower, glue in this margin, which say parts of a plant, glue on there behind that so it sticks onto here, or actually you're better off gluing this bit where it says glue part 1 here, which is this part here. It is really easy. Now, if you don't have a printer, please do not ever worry, because we will always organise our lessons so that you can still do the work. And here's my attempt at doing the same thing. So all you need to have are 2 sheets of paper. If you can get A4, fantastic, but don't worry if they're not A4, but they do need to be the same size, okay? Because that'll just make your sheet look your final presentation, your final piece of work look a lot better. So I'll talk you through how I did it. Simply have 2 pieces of paper there, and then I drew a line down here and down here using a ruler, and the gap is the width of 1 ruler, okay? So there's your 2 pieces of paper with their margins drawn in to guide where to glue. When you've done that, if you're using line paper, maybe count how many lines you've got. This isn't quite perfectly even into 4 sections. They are slightly bigger than the other, but this was roughly 8 lines per section of the picture. Or if you've got plain paper, just measure the length of your page and divide it by 4, but I would say it's going to be roughly 8 centimetres for each section that you do. Okay, and then you literally divide both of them evenly the same way. Now you need to try and make sure that the line that you've drawn on sheet 1 goes in exactly the same place that you draw the line on sheet 2, because and you'll see why in a minute at step 6 why they need to be the exact same size. Okay, so I'm going to really be trying not to make too much of a mess, but I am going to draw in what I'm trying to say. So this space here needs to be the same as this space here, all right? Because when you lift the flap up, you need to be able to see what's underneath, okay? So that's that, and I think I'm about to sneeze. Now I mustn't sneeze. That would be awkward. Anyway, so that's step 3. Divide the pages exactly the same way on both. Then on one sheet, this one here, parts of a plant, is actually this one, is this sheet that I've got here. You just write parts of a plant down the margin, and you literally down here, you draw, well, I won't say what you draw because you've got to know the words. Well, it's the roots, I'll tell you. The leaves, the stem, the flower. Okay, so there's the 4 parts. Then on here, that's where you do your writing about this bit. So you do your writing up there about the flower, okay? That's where you do your writing in there, da 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 da. Then you do your writing about the stem in here, the leaves in here, and the roots in here, okay? And you'll see here, here's my attempt. There's my drawing of it. There's my flower head, there's my stem. Obviously the stem goes all the way down, but that's where you're going to write about the stem. There's the leaves, there's the roots. So what you'll find is, once you've stuck down the margin only, and remember you're only gluing the margin, you will be able to lift, open up, and there's all the information underneath about the roots. Okay, so that's how you can do it. If you haven't got a printer, as long as you've got 2 sheets of paper, some glue, a ruler, and some colouring pencils, you are made. You will be able to do this no problem. Okay, so have a go at that, please. Do the best you can. Press pause here. I would give yourself about half an hour or so to do this. So if you haven't had a break already, go have a little break and then come back and do this afterwards. Okay, away you go. Press pause here. And let's now have a quick reminder of what the key words are that we've been learning about today. Let's have a reminder. So the stem is what? Have a little think. Hopefully you're remembering the stem is simply the part that holds up the plant, and they have to be quite strong, especially when with the flower at the top. The flower is what makes new seeds to make more plants, the reproductive part. Roots anchor the plant in the ground and absorb water and nutrients. Roots are a bit like a clever straw system. That the plant is, or the stem's more like the straw, but the roots actually absorb the water, and you saw that in the video. And then the leaves are what make food for the plant using sunlight and carbon dioxide from the air, and that creates energy for the plant to grow. Okay, it converts it all into carbohydrates using photosynthesis, and that was quite a big word there, but you don't officially have to know that word in year 3, but photosynthesis is a very important word that we use when talking about plants. Okay, so that's really the 4 main sections of a plant that you need to know absolutely off by heart. They are the key things that we needed to learn today. So, is that the end? One more thing, as Apple presentations always like to say. One more thing about what happens to the roots of seeds when they first start to grow. Okay, right, have a little look at this picture. I have got some seeds at home. These are broad bean seeds. They're quite big, and I'm going to plant these. Well, I'm not going to plant them. I'm going to put them at the side of a cup with some paper towel covering them, which has been dipped in water. So they kind of are going to be stuck or pressed to the side of a cup. And you're going to look next week at how these have started to grow. Because I'm going to do 3 different seeds. I'm going to plant them different way round. Okay, different ways round. Seed 1 here, I'm going to put the correct way up. Okay, so into the ground, facing down the correct way. Okay. This seed I'm going to put sideways, and this seed I'm going to do upside down, okay, with the root system pointing up. Okay, now my question is, where will the roots come out and how will they then grow? Will these roots grow down? Will these roots grow sideways? And will these roots grow up? That's my question. I want you to make a little note in your science book, a prediction for each seed. So you can write seed 1, I think the roots will grow down because it's facing down. You can make a prediction for seed 2, I think the root will come out sideways and it will grow sideways. And if you think for seed 3 your prediction is the roots are going to come out the top and grow upwards, then that could be your prediction. But you might have a different prediction. You may think the roots may do something else. And so I want you to make a little note in your book. Write today's date next to your prediction. So then, in the next few weeks, as we look at these roots come out of these seeds, we will be able to see if you were right. All right? So we're going to be keeping an eye on these seeds. Should be fun, should be interesting. And yeah, that's it basically. So for now, that is the end of your science for this week. So you've had plenty to think about there, plenty to get on with, and we'll do it all again next Wednesday. So for now, well done, good work, keep it up team, you are awesome.